So this tarot reading is focusing on how can you better honour your authentic self. So the cards that come out is the Devil and the Hanged Man. There is a few things that are standing out to me, and I'm actually grateful that these cards have come out and what's standing out to me, because it's kind of really made the message quite clear. So bear with. You've got, with the Devil here, you've got the torch and the man's tail, okay? So his tail is tipped with flames, and that symbolizes passion, desire, lust, drive, and what's the other one? Primal urges. So when balanced, these can be creative and life-giving, but when out of balance, they become destructive, and that could be addiction, obsession, impulsive behavior, and being consumed by desire. So the man's fiery tail shows he's giving his power away to lower impulses instead of listening to higher guidance. And this is what I like. Actually, no, let me bear with. I'm going too fast. The Devil, right? Before I move on to the Hanged Man. So the Devil is, he's directing his torch downward. And that's deliberately feeding and inflaming these lower desires, okay? So this torch doesn't illuminate, like, let's say, for example, the Hermit in Tarot's lantern. It burns, enslaves, and keeps energy trapped in cycles of like temptation. And if you wanted to know, here, the female, her tail's like covered in grapes, and that's actually symbolizing indulgence, sensuality, comfort, and escape. So if you are really, really stressed at work, you would smoke a cigarette, yeah? Or you'd come home and you'd drink alcohol, or you do drugs, smoke your magical fairy dust, whatever. It's kind of that type of energy where you're not wanting to face it and handle it. You kind of want to numb yourself from it, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's kind of like together you've got the fire and the grapes, and that really reveals forms of like entrapment. So you've kind of got like lust and passion, or indulgence and comfort, if that makes sense. So this energy can actually show up as really toxic people as well. I do want to say that because that's what I feel more than anything. It can be toxic people, it can be societal pressures, or even your own ego. It's the influence that convinces you to copy others, seek approval, or act in ways that kind of really pull you away from being your authentic self. Now, in contrast with the Hanged Man, offers a higher path, okay? So the halo around his head represents awareness, illumination, and alignment with spirit. And even though he is suspended and appears stuck, he has chosen this pause. It's through surrender, it's through patience, and it's it's shifting perspective that true wisdom and clarity can then arrive. So to honour your authentic self, you're really being called to step back from the crowd, whether that's family, colleagues, or friends, or relationships, and really look at yourself. The Hanged Man is the energy of not budging until you really see clearly what you're meant to see. And it is, I can feel and understand, because I've had to experience this myself quite a few times, and I've had to watch people also go through this as well. This is not easy energy, but I tell you now, my darling, it's, at the time it sucks because it's a big eye-opener regarding yourself and who you are as a person, but also your surrounding, and a lot of change and comes from that afterwards. So at the time when you're experiencing and you're realizing, actually, you know, I'm not handling situations that well, or these people aren't really the best influence for me, yeah, it can be a bit difficult, lonely sometimes, confusing, overwhelming, scary, but afterwards my darling, honestly, it is worth it. 100% it is worth it, okay? So bear with yourself, bear with it all. And I feel as well, when you start really embracing your authentic self, people may resist it. They may challenge you, for sure, try and pull you back, or even mock you for choosing differently. And I've seen that. I've had to experience it, and I've seen it. When you start listening to, I don't even know what music's out nowadays. I couldn't bear myself to even listen to it. But when you start listening to like meditation, yeah, people start taking the piss out of you for listening to meditation because you don't want to listen to the shit that's out, that's being played on the radio. Or when you start, going, you know what, actually, I don't want my body to look like this. I want to start going to the gym. You start showing yourself respect and start showing yourself love, and people take the piss out of you, or they start saying, "Oh, you ain't going to stick to that." And that's kind of what I feel more than anything, is that yes, I feel like your own ego, your own shadow might not be so helpful, but I also feel like the people that you surround yourself by are not supportive people at all, and they're actually stopping you from being, well, you're following them. This is what I feel, that you are actually following them, you're copying them to please them, and it's actually affecting you in multiple ways. And I think what's going to happen is that you will really go in the hanged man mode and start seeing things and start questioning things. But my darling, it's worth it. So yeah, people will definitely. I can't explain to you how many times I've had to experience it myself, and how many times I've had to see it happen to other people. And that's why I choose to be really encouraging. So when people are doing the right things, or they are following the paths that their soul is telling them to follow, or intuition, or they start showing respect to themselves, and they stop doing things and doing the right things, in the sense of, loving themselves and making sure that they're looking after themselves and themselves are a priority, they have nothing but my support and encouragement, 100%, without a doubt. Anyways, so your ego, the devil's energy, will definitely also can and most likely will try and attempt you to return back to your comfort zone, my darling. But this path only keeps you small, and it's not healthy at all, and it's not right, and it really does dim your light. So instead, spirit, your higher self, is really guiding you, to express yourself fully. Love both your good and your shadow side, because that is one of the most. I might come across to people extremely confident in myself. There's some things that I don't like about myself, but I also accept it and I love it. I love the good and I love the bad in me, and it works. It works. And I appreciate the bad in me, and I appreciate the good in me. I accept me as me, regardless of how people view me or see me. But it is very important to love, you both, your good side and your bad side, or not bad side, your shadow side and your light side, let's say it in that way, and trust that, when you start, because you are most likely going to start pulling yourself away from people or crowds that aren't right for you, those right connections will start appearing, my darling, honestly, because the universe doesn't want you to be lonely. It wants you to be free. But when when you do start honoring your true self, the right friends, partners, and soul family will naturally align with you. Okay, so the devil is all about, as I said, it's about the shadow patterns, it's about temptations and attachments, external or internal. So it really is asking you to see where you are giving away your power and break free from what dims your truth. And the hanged man is all about pause, surrender, and new perspective. And it invites you to reflect, observe, and gain clarity before moving forward. And I actually feel that your higher self, your guides, are actually going to be putting you in, or you're in the situation, or will be in the situation, where, yeah, until I feel that it will be uncomfortable for you, and I'm sorry to say that, but it will feel quite uncomfortable until you start to realize, and then, my darling, within time, oh God, it's going to feel like a blessing. So bear with it all. So it is really important to recognize your chains and attachments, for sure, and step back to see, the bigger picture of everything. And it is, I would say, definitely, it's really important to honor your own truth and not from the crowd or other people's expectations. So yeah, I hope this has helped, and I wish you all the best, my darling. Bye bye.